According to the powers that be, we are live, and as I've said every month, these last 13, this is our 13th remote performance. I always feel like I'm bestartled in the very beginning, so I think I looked pretty together here. So hello out there. Thank you for tuning in to Folk You. This is a singer-songwriter round robin that has been going on here in the city of Chicago for, we're approaching our 20th year come December, so we're in the middle of our 19th year. And the last year plus has been, wow, surprise, surprise, coming to you via the interwebs, as folks say. And this is our 13th. Next month, we're booked for the same thing again, but I was just discussing with my illustrious guests here that we're all kind of itching to get back to, real face-to-face performances. And whenever that happens will be wonderful, and I will be sure to apprise everyone about where Folk You is, hopefully at our prior location. But for now, we come to you from the air. And so just to quickly get this out of the way, for those that may be unfamiliar with Folk You, it's a singer-songwriter round robin. And if that is a phrase you're not familiar with as well, round robin is an opportunity for songwriters to get together and in numbers to be determined, in this case it's 3, and to play some of their original material, but only in little bites, and then it passes to the next person and they give you a couple of songs to the next person, and as the title suggests, it comes around again. And so that is what we'll be doing for you tonight, and I'm excited to have 2 returning folk viewers whose work I always love to hear, whether it's virtual or in my face. I prefer it in my face, but it's going to be great. And in the order that I see on screen here, I will say that Matt Sobczyk, hello, with obviously a supporting player.
Fan, yeah.
Are you playing lead cat tonight? Is that what's happening?
I'm always second fiddle to the cat. That's
I think it's beautiful. I can't wait to hear what kind of sounds you get out of crackers there or whatever. So love to have Matt back. And to his right, at least as I'm seeing it, and I believe we're all seeing it this way, Adele Nicholas. Hello, Adele.
Hi.
And I think before I go down my usual little rabbit hole of mindless babble, I will let these 2 relax, let Matt tune up his cat, and you will see one of them following me, and I will get this party started. So guys, we'll see you in just a little bit. All right. And they are breathing a sigh of relief because it's like, wow, we can take it easy, let Larry make a fool of himself, which is kind of what I'm all about, right? So again, thank you for tuning in. If you've been following us regularly these last 13 months, thank you for sticking with us. And it's been quite an experience. Things are looking up, which is great. But month to month, this is still my favorite gig to play, and I'm really pleased to be doing it for you tonight, and I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to start with a song by my band, The Injured Parties, and how do I get that? From our first album, Fun with a Purpose. And it's a song that I never really, it was written on an acoustic guitar, but it's just one I was not normally playing at Folk You. And with everything that's happened since March of 2020, so many lyrics and songs take on, I don't know if it's not always different significance, but maybe a more enhanced significance. So this one, which is called For Your Protection, just seems like it's become the de facto pandemic number. So that is where I'm going to begin. And it seems like a good introduction on my part for the Dean Ouvre. I can throw around my 2 or 3 French words. For your protection. For your protection, I wear barbed wire in my hair. For your protection, inflate airbags with clean air. For your protection, I I wrestle alligators in the mud for your protection. I'll let vampires suck my blood for your protection. I'll punch heavy weights in the jaw for your protection. I'll see every bad movie you saw for your protection. I'll deadbolt and chain the doors for your protection. I'll yank rusty nails from the floor. Your protection, a flame-proof and bulletproof your clothes for your protection. I'll never step on your toes for your protection. Should the hurricane waters rise for your protection, I'll lift you up and for your protection. I'll put laughter in your throat for your protection. I'll roll the lifeboat for your protection. I'll defuse the dynamite for your protection. I'll hold you all through the night. For your protection, I'll whisper when everyone yells for your protection. I'll close your nose to all the rotten smells for your protection. When lightning strikes and thunder roars for your protection, I'll hoist an umbrella through the downpour for your protection. I'll be your shield, I'll be your sword for your protection. I will listen, you will not be ignored for your protection. I'll throw the world a telethon for your protection. I can't go on, go on. I can't go on, I'll 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 go on. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Matt, kick it, yes. Kicking myself in the ass constantly. Thank you so much. And Kurt, thank you for, I love the concept of people arriving late. I know you are saying you're arriving a little bit late, but you are here for us. That's what's appreciated. Thank you. And it's good to get that first one out of the way. Thank you, Mark. Again, the psychotic qualities of this is always great because we're seeing some of these comments and it's like I haven't taken my medication today and I'm just commenting randomly on these made up names, but I appreciate you guys being here. That is so nice. And you know, that one, I think my Lou Reed, love of Lou Reed really comes out in that. And being able to like play it in a more quiet mode definitely makes me want to lounge it up a little bit more than when the Injured Parties plays it. But you know what? Damn it. It just feels right. So, all right, I'm going to do one that is newer, not the newest. I've actually have written a couple songs during the lockdown. Well, it's not really a lockdown anymore. The pandemic, the weirdness, whatever we want to call it. And this one actually directly addresses our particular situation, even as things are letting up a little bit, letting up a great bit for some people. And when I wrote this, it was kind of in the midst of just lots of bad behavior on people's parts. And I live in a high rise, and it's kind of impossible to get around certain behaviors from people when you have to go through the common areas. So I'm wondering if this is going to survive this whole experience. I think so, if nothing, as a measure of one's mind during it. We'll find out. I'm not going to worry about it for right now. I'm going to play it and shut up so we can move this along. It's called My First Pandemic. Hey there, I need some advice. There's something I have to ask. Considering the state we're in, do I have to wear a mask? It's my first pandemic, nothing to compare it to. It's my first pandemic, what the hell am I supposed to do? Should I hoard cans of beans and stack them into a wall? At least I can have some privacy until I eat them all. It's my first pandemic and nothing to compare it to. It's my first pandemic, what the hell am I supposed to do? When can I get back to doing all those things that I've done? Without ever thinking about it, I want to have my fun. 6 feet of social distance seems like a lot to me. I miss hugging my neighbors, even if they don't want to be. It's my first pandemic, and nothing to compare it to. It's my first pandemic, what the hell am I supposed to do? It's my first pandemic, and nothing to compare it to. It's my first pandemic, what the hell am I supposed to do? What the hell am I supposed to do? What the hell am I supposed to do? Oh, yes. Oh. Adele.
Oh, hi.
Oh, yes.
Thumbs up on your performance.
Oh, thank you. I see it. Thank you so much. Wow, sorry about that. I just thought you were like getting your mind set and getting all mentally prepared there. But yeah, thank you for the nice comments. You hadn't heard that. Obviously, you haven't heard that unless you've tuned into some of these, right?
You know, I was tuned into the last one, and that one was new to me.
Yeah, I didn't do it last month, right? Yeah. No, I thought, you know what, new songs, you get that new song fever, and then one that seems so, I shouldn't say fever with regard to the situation, but you want to play the new thing, and one that seems particularly pertinent, you want to play that, and then I got to a point where it's like, come on, dude, don't do that. I did my other song about the losing the hour when we jumped ahead. Yeah. It's that memorable, I know. So yes. So as you can see, I'm far too chatty in the beginning. So it's time for me to like get away, let you do your thing, slap myself in the face a few times, which I do whether I'm doing this or not. And I'm looking forward to hearing you're doing stuff from this current project, right? Which I remember. Yeah, I'll let you talk all about that, and I'll see you on the next pass. Sounds good?
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, hi, I'm Adele. I'm going to play a couple songs from a record I wrote with my band. We're called Axons. Our record is going to come out sometime. The last time I played Full Q was in 2019, and I was just kind of starting to work on some of these songs, and I played some of them then. But now I have a fully recorded record called I Object to Everything. Here it is, if you can see it. And that's your first preview of this tape. It will be out later this summer. But the record is inspired by the true story of how two people escaped from the MCC, which is a federal detention facility in downtown Chicago, by rappelling down the side of the building on a rope made out of bed sheets and dental floss. And it's obviously horrifying, shocking, exciting, wild story. But it's also just something I got really interested in, so I wrote this whole concept record about it. So the first song I'm going to play is called A Lot of Petty Stuff, which is about how one of these guys who escaped from prison robbed a bank while he was blackout drunk. Surrender myself, a twilight mind. Vodka and beer help my consciousness subside. Step out of the club, a pale sunrise. Some primitive part of me still knows how to drive. A lot of petty stuff, got myself caught for most of it. I've led a life of minor. A lot of childish stuff, I got away with some of it, but I won't get away this time. A grocery store where I've never been. Casually shopping, leaving fingerprints behind me as I go. Showed the young teller a toy gun. With armfuls of cash, I strolled away in midday sun. A lot of childish stuff, got myself caught for most of it. I've led a life of minor. A lot of petty stuff, I got away with some of it, but I won't get away this time. Cash would never be recovered. Paid off my debts and bought a sandwich my brother. The next Saturday, I got in a fight. And when the cops came, they recognized me from the video. By the time I came to in a hospital bed, they had already turned me over to the feds. A lot of childish stuff, got myself caught for most of it. I've led a life of minor crime. A lot of petty stuff, I got away with some of it, but there's no getting away this time. Not this time. All right, thank you for the comments. Thanks for hanging out. All right. This next one is called Past, Present, and Future. This is about the other person who escaped from the MCC, and he made the very unfortunate decision to represent himself at his trial, and he fired his attorney, and he put on a really strange and ineffective defense of himself. And so a lot of the lyrics of this song are borrowed from the transcripts of the trial, which was, you know, a combination of really kind of sad and depressing, because obviously this person was, you know, not doing a good job representing himself and not really getting a fair trial, but also just kind of like a fascinating spectacle, because he has a really kind of amazing way with words, and he tried a lot of strange things during the trial. So anyway, this is about that. This is not my lawyer, that's not my jury. I'm not subject to the laws you put on me. I feel like Hannibal Lecter when they strap me to a chair. They got tasers, I can't go nowhere. Kidnapped by the government and been brought here, subdued, forcitated to stand trial for crimes I didn't do. Show the jury videos, cars, cash, DNA. It's all fraudulent, you know, that I've been framed. Whatever evidence you bring, it's all hearsay and rumor. I object to everything, past, present, and future. Past, present, future. In Village discount, $30 in my hand, buying the disguise for the next heist that I planned. All the numbered bills in my safety deposit box. All this proves is that I got bad luck. Whatever evidence you bring, it's all hearsay and rumor.
Right on. Right on. That was good.
Thanks much. Looking forward to hearing you.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when that was in the news. That was pretty cool. A crazy story that they got out of that building. But anyway, thanks, Adele. That was a very cool set of songs. I've got my two queued up here. As Larry had mentioned, writing over the pandemic. Both of these songs came about during the pandemic. Well, one of them from beginning to end, the first one, and it's the most recent one, and the other one had been cooking around for a while, and I ended up, finishing it during the pandemic because I try to make it, try to be a song finisher, not just a songwriter. That was that's what it's all about. So right now, this one, I think it started out being about something, but ended being about something else. More like that feeling when you're a teenager and you're not really quite comfortable in your own skin. And for me, that didn't go away until I was around 45 years old. And so, there's still remnants of that knocking around. So here we go. Last night I checked out a new dimension. I didn't have one good intention. The air was thick there. It bears a mention. A very thin hair, loaded with tension. I ducked around the corner, tried to stay out of the hive. The place was full of buzzing like a ringing in my mind. It was a long room without a window, and me with no clue which way the wind blew. It smelled like perfume, or maybe day glow, or maybe certain doom. But what do I know? I ducked around the corner, tried to stay out of the hive. The place was full on buzzing like a ringing in my mind. I thought I saw a way out and began to make my move, but I was paralyzed from too much staring at the tube. Down at the seaside, at high or low tide, can't make up my mind if it's the right time. I spent a long night just staying out of sight, protecting my hide until the daylight. I ducked around the corner, tried to stay out of the hive. The place was full on buzzing like a ringing in my mind. I thought I saw a way out and began to make my move, but I was paralyzed from too much staring at the tube. I got a hole down in my shoe. I got a hole down in my shoe. I got a hole 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 down in my shoe. All right, all right. Feels good. That's got my wife Holly plays the drums, and so I got her to lay down a drum track, and I recorded some guitar, bass, and other nonsense and put that up on a Bandcamp page. The Bandcamp page is Dr. Hotcakes, if anybody's interested. There's not much there, but there will be. There's always the promise. And this one's up there too, but this has Holly's son Jason playing drums on it. He was living with us for a little bit at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was, it's always cool to have a house full of musicians. If you got to be cooped up, you may as well be cooped up with a bunch of musicians. So here we go. Here I am again, wide awake at 3 a.m. Snow globe shake inside my head, weary eyes are turning red. Can't sleep, can't sleep. Staring at the ceiling, how I hate that awful feeling. Tossing left, turning right, maybe get up, have a bite. Can't sleep. I just wanna close my eyes, lay me down, dream all night, drift away without a care. Restful nights are something rare. Why can't I just drift away, dream all night, forget the day, and greet the morning full of life? If only I could sleep tonight. The clock is ticking loud and the morning's bearing down. Shuffle down the hall while I mumble to the walls. 40 weeks, count sheep, can't sleep. Long and fitful nights with no relief in sight. Sandwich that I cannot take, gonna be a wasted day. Can't sleep, can't sleep. I just wanna close my eyes, lay me down, dream all night, drift away without a care. Restful nights are something rare. Why can't I just drift away, dream all night, forget the day, and greet the morning full of life? If only I could sleep tonight. Well, there we go. That was a little bit of insanity for y'all.
I had to make sure you were ready before I launched myself in there and trying to avoid a double on the Adele. Boy, that was fantastic.
Thanks.
Both of those were new, is that right? Or
yeah, the last one I wrote maybe back in May or June last year, and the newer one came about over spring break this year, so mid-March. That one went from about a germ of an idea to a recorded song in under 2 weeks, which that's got to be a record for me.
So it normally takes more gestation time for you, is that it?
Yeah, like one of the songs I'm going to play later has been about 45 years in the making.
Wow.
Maybe, wait, how old? 40 years in the making.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, can't wait to hear it. You got to make sure to let us know which one that is, just so I can put it all in perspective. But typically, your stuff's sounding excellent. And if you haven't done it, take a look at some of the comments here. People are loving.
It's great. I love it, man. Thank you all. That's awesome. And Adele, that was some great stuff too. I mean, that story is so, so gripping. I can't, I'm out of words right now, but it's...
Well, finding a theme, of course, let's talk about Adele when she's not here. I could bring her in, but I'm not going to do that. I can see her there listening. Finding an interesting theme like that is one thing, but being able to do something really interesting with it is another thing entirely. And I remember when she played some of it in 2019, and I was already totally into it. It just sounded great, So to know that it's reached fruition, cassette fruition,
yes,
and to be able to, I don't know if what I've heard so far I would have heard in 2019 because I don't remember, but just conceptually, and then hearing the songs on their own, she's bringing something else to it, and just that's the thing. So
yeah,
hats off to
that's
her.
what I was looking for. It's a compelling story.
Yeah, but story is one thing, the song is another.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
and with your stuff too, man, it's just totally sucks me in. That's what it's all about.
I'm glad you got those other two words, the second two words, or the second and third word in there.
Well, all right, I will let you decompress a little bit here. We'll see you on the next pass. And
we did have an appearance of Farm Cat at the very beginning, walking out.
I was going to say,
as soon as I started to play, that's the kitty giving her, telling us what she thinks.
I tried to get a quick snap of that. Unfortunately, she was too fast for me. But yes, well, she's only bringing a more perfect vibe to the whole evening. So tell her not to go anywhere, and you don't go anywhere.
Tell cats a lot of things, yeah.
Probably better that I leave Matt there and not bring myself back in here because, you know, I'm Mr. Deprecation, Mr. Self-Deprecation, which is, I think, a role I'm proud to play. Which is compounded by what I like about Matt and Adele too, is they have much more tasteful. They're like a little bit further back from the mic, and 13 months into this, I'm still like, hey, what's happening? What's happening out there? But what the hell? Okay, so I'm gonna do, older, newer. I'm gonna follow that pattern again this time, and I'm gonna go back though with a song from a band I was in called Post Office, and this is from the second of 2 albums that we did. And this one we worked with Chris Stamey from the DBs and many other fine production jobs, but you might know him from the DBs. And went down to North Carolina, tracked some of it here, and then did some tracking and mixing with Chris in North Carolina, and cannot recommend working with that man any higher. And this is another one where looking at it's tangentially, if I think about it now, about travel, but it wasn't really meant to be about travel when it was first penned. But now with, again, things opening up and people feeling more comfortable with traveling, and borders opening up between states that used to be more porous than they perhaps are now, this one just seemed appropriate. And it's called Going to Indiana. You packed up your things and flew, though I mean that metaphorically. The U-Haul was crammed with your possessions as you drove toward Muncie, saying I'm going to Indiana, 'cause there's nothing else to do. It's just a stone's throw away, but I'd rather throw myself at you. Ooh. We really screwed it up this time, but at least we screwed up with style. And between every bitter tear, a face cracks with a smile. Remember? Going to Indiana, 'cause there's nothing else to do. It's just a stone's throw away, but I'd rather throw myself at you. Ooh. Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, there are only 50 states, and I'll be in Guam next year at this rate. Maybe we can make it work. There are worse things people have done than throwing themselves in the path of a train when sane folks would turn and run. So I'm going to Indiana, 'cause there's nothing else to do. It's just a stone's throw away, but I'd rather throw myself at you. I'm going to Indiana. Going to Indiana. Going to Indiana. Going to Indiana. All right. Thank you. And thank you for the nice comments and the virtual applause. Appreciate it. Yeah, DBs were pretty awesome. DBs are still an ongoing concern, I guess. You know, they played at the Hideout some years back, and I remember shows as we were talking about. And yeah, again, anything that Chris does is really worth seeking out with the DBs and Peter Holzapfel and everybody in that band. Gene Holder, Will Rigby, they've all done really interesting stuff. So my next number is newer. It's just not pandemic new. And this is one that was inspired by, and now seems to be kind of like the de facto, could be like the de facto pandemic theme in some ways. And it was inspired by kind of mishearing Neil Diamond's Solitary Man, like mishearing that title, one I'm certainly familiar with, but mishearing it as Sedentary Man. And so I was like, oh, all right. And that birthed this particular song, which again seems to have been much of what many of us have been as sedentary for the last X number of months. So anyway, here we go. I sit all day, I sit all night. People who know me don't know my true height. Sitting on my can, on a chair or the couch, looking at life from a kangaroo pouch. Sit on the bus when I get a seat. I ease my knees and free my feet. And on the job, I stay put in my chair. Whether I'm over here or over there, I'm a sedentary man. I'm a sedentary man. I'm a sedentary man. I used to run, jump, jog, and leap. And on all fours, sometimes I'd creep. Bodies in motion become bodies at rest. Now that I'm still, life is the best. I'm a sedentary man. I'm a sedentary man. I'm a sedentary man. No more hubbub, no hustle or flow. There's no destination where I long to go. From my window, I see the street, watching the people mingle and meet. Then I turn away and close my eyes, picturing myself flying through the skies. I'm a sedentary man. I'm a sedentary man. I'm a sedentary man. I'm a sedentary man.
Woo-hoo! Nice work.
Thank you. I think you were snapping prior to that, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, baby. Daddy-o digs.
Yeah.
So thank you for the comments again there, Adele. And had the song you played before, I don't know, or from the songs you played before, is that stuff you did in 2019 as well, or can you remember?
Yeah, I'd say definitely Past, Present, and Future was the first one I wrote for this record. I downloaded everything from these guys' cases, and when I read the trial transcript, I remember meeting up with my husband at a bar that night and just like pouring over it with him and showing him all of the things that had happened during the trial, and I like knew right then that it was a whole record, so I probably played that one. Yeah.
Well, again, I know you were listening to Matt and I talk about it there, but yeah, it's really, really great stuff. So, and it's always a pleasure to hear you. So, let me pass the baton to you, such as it is, and we'll see you again on the last pass.
Sounds great.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll play two more from this record. This one is about after these guys escaped. One of them took a wild cross-country road trip with an aim towards leaving the country. And he didn't ultimately succeed, but he got close a couple times. And so the song is called Close Enough to Dream. A disconcerting sight, my face on a wanted poster. Exhausted mugshot of the man backed in a corner. The patrons pay no mind to the menacing simulacrum. A face that isn't mine. It's a person I've turned away from. I got close enough to dream of a life freed from this drama. Got so close that I could see the streets of Tijuana. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No one looks up when the screen flashes my specter. Newscaster softly says the accomplice has been captured on a California day. This news barely affects me. 2,000 miles away, no one would suspect me. I got close enough to dream of a life freed from this drama. Got so close that I could see the streets of Tijuana. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Agents at Otay Mesa take me into custody. I couldn't cross without a passport or ID. 6 hours in the pen, a divine intervention. They cut me loose again on the verge of apprehension. I got close enough to dream of a life free from this drama. So close that I could see the streets of Tijuana. Ooh, ooh, ooh. At San Ysidro had my alibi in order. Spending the afternoon with friends across the border. I got close enough to dream of a life free from this drama. Got so close that I could see Okay. So as most of you who followed this story in the news probably already know, these escapes were not successful, and both of these guys ended up back in prison. And because they escaped, they ended up at the highest security prison in the entire country. And it's in Florence, Colorado. It's a federal detention facility where pretty much like every notorious terrorist you can think of is locked up, like 9/11 co-conspirators, and Ted Kaczynski is there, and El Chapo, and these guys, who they did both, get convicted of robbing banks and escaping from prison, but they're certainly not international terrorists. And so this song is a little bit about the disproportionality of punishment to crime. I guess I'm a lawyer. I think about these things.
Orderly hell, concrete and steel, monotonous hours lead into years. Beyond the walls, there's splendor outside, with his only view, a sliver of sky. And if I sit here for 20 more years, I'm never trying to get comfortable here, jogging in circles with nothing to see. Ted Kaczynski, I'll chop with me. Land of the unknown, a life without touch, a barren expanse, tedium and loneliness, falling back through familiar gray, engulfs him again. Even if I sit here for 20 more years, I'm never trying to get comfortable here, jogging in circles with nothing to see. Ted Kaczynski, Al-Qaeda, and me. Ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba. Then if I sit here for 20 more years, I'm never trying to get comfortable here, jogging in circles with nothing to see. Ted Kaczynski, true bomber and me. Ted Kaczynski, I'll chop with me. Ted Kaczynski, Al-Qaeda and me.
All right, that was good. Both of those were really, really nice. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing a couple more of yours.
The vibe on there is definitely you capture it. Both of those at Tijuana, I want to be there, and stuck in Colorado with wow. All right, well, these the next two I got are like my heavy songs, I guess. I didn't intend to write heavy songs, but I go where they take me, and these two are a little on the heavy side, so we'll start this one out. There was a line in there about a phone call and stuff, and one of my bandmates in Rent Party, Snezhina, she, I wrote the song out. I wrote it on the guitar and sat down to write it down actually, and wrote in all, figured out, like, because I play a bunch of bar chords over open strings, and so I wanted to be snotty, and wrote out all the chord extensions and everything. And she took one look at the paper and said, "What are you doing with all these Steely Dan chords?" So I had to change a line in the song, a couple lines in the song to put that in, work in Steely Dan. And that's about the lightest part of this. Anyhow, here we go. Enough babbling. Take myself back in time when Steely Dan told us Katie lied. Try to kid myself, times were better back then, before I learned about the ways of men. Had a lot to learn, not one care. I'm having through life, walking on air, surrounded by riches, not knowing the cause. Now all I see is a paradise lost. Living in a world run by murderers and thieves. Each year of mine, we hand them the keys. Make more from scraps and crumbs, never knowing peace. They grow fat with the spoils they keep. Came my way without a thought. Get away with it all, never get caught. Don't pull back the curtain, not even a peek. Scratch on the surface, open up what's underneath. Living in a world run by murderers and thieves. Each year of mine, we hand them the keys. Make more from scraps and crumbs, never knowing peace. They grow fat with the spoils they keep. I'm so tired of waiting, aren't you? For the world to become good and beautiful and kind. Let us take a knife and cut the world in two. See what worms are eating at the rind. Only one small kind, not too big. How to take a stand when the game is rigged? Can I make a difference? Is it my turn? Too late tomorrow when everything burns. All right. Yeah, it occurred to me as I'm hacking away at I wrote this song not long after coming into possession of this guitar. It was my father-in-law's guitar that he bought back in the 70s, and he'd moved around. It's an old Gibson, and it shows its miles, but he had lived in China, at which point they'd spent some time in a storage garage in Massachusetts, because he moved from Boston to China, then from there to Mexico, where the guitar did get to Mexico, and eventually, after he passed away, wound up here in my living room. And that, I started strumming away on it, and that's the song that came out of it, like not long after I picked it up out of the box. I mean, that was where it began, or that song anyway. And now this is the one I was telling Mary about earlier, that something like 40 years in the making. It was I used to drink. I used to drink a lot, but that's another story. But this song is kind of that story. A buddy of mine came over one night, and we wrote a song, ha ha ha. But eventually I got around to finishing it. Well, I got around to getting it in a position where I can play it. Put it that way. Here it's like it's about as close to any kind of an autobiographical song as I think I'll ever write. So. Took 15 beers to get me here, and I ain't going home just yet. Gonna drink 10 more, you gotta drag me out the door, and I ain't going home just yet. Met a couple jocks and they're gonna clean my clock, and I ain't going home just yet. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Give me one more, oh hell, make it four, and I ain't going home just yet. Walking in the rain, not feeling any pain, and I ain't going home just yet. Drink till I drop, get beat up by a cop, and I ain't going home just yet. Not yet, not yet, not yet. The party never ends, get around for all my friends, and I ain't going home just yet. Red sky in the morning, never heed a warning, and I ain't going home just yet. Feeling kinda ill, did you say you had some pills? Cause I ain't going home just yet. Not yet, not yet, not yet. You know, come on, just lay off with that, will you, man? You always say that stuff, you know, I see you every once in a blue moon, and whenever you try to bring me down with that stuff, you know. I do not drink too much, and that's not a problem, you know. It's not my problem at all, my drinking, you know. It's you're the problem, then, if that's the way you're going to be. Come on. Yeah, no, I don't need it. Here's a dime. Go give somebody a call who gives a damn and wants to listen to that. All right, look, yeah, I know. My car was parked a few blocks away, but that's all right. That happens, you know. This is the city, right? Sometimes you got to do that. I found it after a couple of days. What do you mean? You know, I know people. You're back on that train again. I know people that have been there and gone through that. They told me that they've been there, and I'm glad that there are places like that for those guys. They wanted help. They got help. Good for them. That's nice. You know, it's a good thing. I don't begrudge them. I just, you know, that's not for me. I know I'm not there's no problem here. I like what I'm doing. I've been doing this all the time. What do you mean I'm here every night? Yeah, well, why not? It's where I like it. So what if the place smells a little bit? You get used, you know, it goes away. And, you know, whatever. You know, okay. You know, if it'll shut you up, all right. Maybe one day I will get off that. I'll do that. Maybe one day I'll make that call. Maybe one day I'll get off this run. But you know, for now, I'm just having fun. And if you don't like that, well, that's what you got to do. So, oh, wait a minute. They're calling last call. Give me 6 to go, because I ain't done yet. Took 15 beers to get me here, and I ain't going home just yet. I'm fully poisoned, alcohol poison, and I ain't going home just yet. Party never ends, and here I go again, and I ain't going home just yet. Losing all my friends, and my troubles ever end, but I ain't going home just yet. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Not yet, not yet. Yeah, been there, done that. Well, cool. You're muted, Larry.
Yeah, thank you. That was fantastic. I put here that it was very brave of you to do this, right? And yet I was really stymied for what to say. You know, for 40 years in the making was worth it. Seemed like that was, glib, but nice job, man.
Yeah, a while back, you know, that buddy of mine, he got sober when we were like 21 years old. I mean, that's how. But he passed away of an aneurysm not long before I got sober. So whatever, you know, life goes as life goes. But the craziest thing is maybe a year ago, I was going through boxes of crap in the basement and found those original lyrics from what we wrote that night. And you could tell, like, the drunker we got, the crazier the verses were. You know, the rap in the middle of it was not the rap that I did to my imaginary friend over here telling me to get sober. It was, I found the original stuff, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, going back, finding stuff like that, and then being able to go back and you know, rework it or finish it. I don't know if people think something like that's kind of easy, you know. Oh yeah, you find it not at all, you know. I mean, and to maybe it just needed all that time. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Like, I needed the time. I don't know about the song, but I needed the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just and talking about like doing the these are heavier or darker songs here. It's just interesting to compare it to the first two and to see the range of stuff that you're not just capable of doing, but you're willing to do. So if I had a hat, I would take it off and I would doff it in your honor right now. But
Thanks,
that was great. Thank you again.
I like to listen to all kinds of music, so I guess hopefully it's like seeping through somehow.
It's seeping, my man.
Right on.
And we'll see you for the final pass. Hang in there, and sounding good.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of the final pass, I got one more for you. And one thing that doing these remote shows has been interesting for is that, started out, normally I play a Martin and started out playing that. And then I got to a point where I was like, man, I'm missing my band. So I started pulling out some of my electric guitars and playing those. And they have, no problem with playing an electric guitar at a folk show or a songwriters show that's got whatever the venue is for the song, whatever works, zither, a cappella, whatever. But it felt kind of good to get out the electric guitars. And then I realized I had this like smaller scale Gretsch that I got a couple years ago. I'd never play for shows, but mainly around the house. And so the last couple I've been playing it with this and enjoying it. It's a beautiful little guitar. So being remote has forced me to like go through and revisit some of my axes here. The axes of non-evil, I suppose. So this final one, well, you'll be the ones to tell me if it's evil or not, is from one of my solo albums. This one, the Sir Slob album. And this was the final song on the album. It seemed like a good album closer. And it was written while we were recording the album. So it was like, came out in the 11th hour. And just appears as a mostly acoustic song on the album, but it was originally intended, or would have been, a full band number. And I think it's one of the songs of mine that I'm proudest of. I just like it, because I don't like most of my stuff. I'll play it, but I don't like it, which I think is not necessarily an unhealthy attitude. You really shouldn't love your stuff too much. But this one I felt really proud of when I finished it. And another one that seems, to work in this whole pandemic mode, called Take You Away From Here. So let me get to it so we can make it happen. Take You Away From Here. Promise isn't a promise unless it's kept, and my eyes weren't always open each time I left. Lies were sometimes easier than telling the truth, and I'd lose a part of me like losing a baby too. Bravery is difficult, I have to agree. We gravitate toward what's easy, but my heart would fall to pieces like a waterlogged old pier if I could not find a boat to take you away from here. To take you away from here. Not when things are terrible, we're made aware of how much nicer life looks over there. When the breeze is cool and our brains things ain't baked. We dwell on every misstep, this calculation and mistake. From our different windows, we find a better view. Maybe better, only because it's new. But if disaster keeps us safe from worry and from fear, that's the price I'd gladly pay to take you away from here. To take you away from here. I bit my lip when I looked you in the eye, suddenly ashamed that I hadn't tried any harder than I had to. Well, I guess the flesh is weak. Will you love me for my laziness? Will you turn the other cheek? Stacks of old newspapers are piled upon the floor, with their headlines screaming threats of homicide and war. We can feel so insulated in our everyday cocoons. We might as well be living on the moon. Everyone's affected by every little action. Gestures are like dynamite, causing a chain reaction. Should it come to curtain time, let me be your Paul Revere on a midnight ride to take you away from here. To take you away from here. To take you away from here. Take you away from here.
Nice work, Larry.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Ending on the unresolved chord is always a way to let people know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I like that. This one I'm going to play also. Well, I'm going to end on a weird chord.
All right. So looking forward to it, and then we'll see you at the close as well. But you've been sounding great tonight. If I've not been able to say as much in the comments here, and yeah, Matt put some contact info in there about how to get his stuff. Make sure when you get a chance you do the same before we wrap everything up. But all right, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Larry. All right, my last one is I'm just going to play a short little one that's not on the record, but this is kind of about the normalization of the insanity of the Trump years, and how at some point it just became exhausting to even stay mad. And so this song is called Illusions That We Had Before.
You made a threat and you kept it. We put up resistance in vain. It took a long time to accept it. To fight was hard to sustain. And now Didn't want to go to war, but now we've all been drafted.
That's it. Thanks for having me, Larry. I'll hang out till the end.
I have to bring myself in just to apologize. That was super short.
Yeah.
Yes. So let me, short and sweet indeed. So let me get the hell out of here and let Matt do his thing and then apologize for leaving you hanging there. Okay? Sounded great.
All right, man. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Adele. That all sounded great. It looks like there's now 2 cats hovering around. Here we go. This is the other guy. Way to go. He'll step on a keyboard, so I may get some accompaniment. But good job, buddy. Anyway, here we go. This I play this one with Deadly Bungalows. I'm the bass player in Deadly Bungalows and Rent Party, by the way. So, I write these songs on guitar, then learn how to play them on bass and forget how to play them on guitar. But here we go. Busy in the kitchen, turning up the oven. Never mind the biscuits, put some butter on a muffin. Eat beans from the can and bacon fried in a pan. Always gotta save the last boiled egg for Dad. Barefoot on the front porch, birds fly on a hound dog. Double barrel shotgun, shells full of rock salt. Too damn hot to sleep, and brandy wine's way too sweet. Always gotta save the last boiled egg for Dad. Summer days are never long enough. Nights that doing nothing fly so fast. I wish your time would just stand still when I know it never will. Remember where I came from and I don't want to go back. You say you got the answers, it's all part of a plan. I'd rather sleep on Sundays, it keeps me a happy man. Gotta keep it neat, I'm on side of the street. Always gotta save the last boiled egg for Dad. Dad don't like them scrambled. He says they're too manhandled. Can't abide by over easy. Butter just makes them greasy. You know those poached are far too fussy. And he don't like those you're fronty. Boil at it, peel it down, shake a little salt, go to town. Don't try to steal our bed. Don't you dare leave him the dregs. Better not touch that last boiled egg instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little too terrified to do any. I was ready to get back in there now. You guys are both a study in pithiness here. That was fantastic. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you, for playing. It's so good to hear your stuff. Whether live or here, your songs sound great. You're both singing great, playing great. Just loved it.
Thanks,
well, likewise. Thanks for the invite. This was really fun. It was nice to have motivation to remember how to play songs.
Yeah. Get some yayas out before we can get out and get them out. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll next time we're together to do this, either this particular troika or in some combination thereof, it'll actually be in the realm of the real world. But it's still sounding great, and some nice comments here. And yes, Adele, we got your Axons link in there, and Matt's link is in there as well. I'm not even gonna mess with my stuff. Just you can get me through Folk U. But I won't drag this out anymore. I'm just gonna give a big hand to Matt Sobczyk, Adele Nicholas, Thank you so much, guys. And we'll be back next month. I'm pretty confident in this mode while we try to, take it nice and easy with returning to the live performance realm. But guys, hang in there, and I'm going to officially end the broadcast. We'll give a big wave, and then we'll have our prayer and drinking session that we always do. Yeah. See ya, everybody.
Bye.